So we're here on the Cumberland Plateau in, where are we, Northern Alabama?
Yeah, North Alabama.
With Kyle Lybarger, Native Habitat Project. What's going on with this property?
So this is a limestone escarpment coming off the Cumberland Plateau into the Molten Valley. So there's a ton of limestone ecosystems down in the valley, but this one's halfway up the mountain. And it's got a lot of plants that are unique to these limestone escarpments and off the Cumberland Plateau. And so we're about to see Cumberland rosinweed up here, which is one that is really only found in that stretch of I guess the north side of the Cumberland Plateau in the limestone escarpment area. So lots of cool stuff, a lot of diversity here, and this place is super showy throughout the year. Right now the yellows are going off, a bunch of yellow stargrass, and this wood candle or sunny bells is coming up everywhere.
Sunny bulls showing Illyrian. And you said this spot is, yeah, that's an agave relative. You said this spot is lit up with liatris and
oh yeah, the rough blazing star and the scaly blazing star. And then there's Appalachian blazing star up top. It's got the fuzzier leaves. I didn't know that was here until yesterday, actually. But lots of liatris, lots of milkweeds too.
How long you been coming to this site for?
Since I was a kid, honestly.
Really?
But I hadn't been botanizing here until I guess 2016, 2017, and I've been managing it since then, removing cedars and slowly opening it up gradually.
And you said your neighbor owns it, and he was just always been cool with you coming out here?
Yep, he let me hunt it. We came out here and camped in Cub Scouts when I was a kid too, so I've been coming out here for a long time.
And then you started paying attention to the plants, I mean, only recently, like last 5-10 years, you said?
Yeah, 2016, I started opening up the canopy to turn this into a food plot. I actually sprayed this with Roundup in 2016. Yeah, I was trying to plant a diverse mix of 3 species food plot mix, and then where I'd opened it up on the edges and removed the cedars, I came back in the summer and there's just color everywhere along the edges where I removed those cedars, and I was like, what the heck is all this? And so I realized what it was. Had a botanist contact me after I posted a bunch of pictures, and had him up here, Kevin England, and he was like super pumped about it. He was like, man, this is a limestone barren, and we've been managing it ever since, and I hadn't sprayed glyphosate on it since 2016.
So that kind of opened your eyes to how cool and diverse this is.
This is like the origin, this is like the origin story of this place. This is where I got interested in native plants.
Really? This is where it started?
Yeah. And this is still one of the best remnants I have. I mean, it's really an incredible place.
Yeah, you get to these thin soiled areas where the rock is right at the surface, you start seeing a bunch of cool stuff you don't see in the denser woodland areas. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is like, anyone who's like a lay person, doesn't know a lot about botany, might come here and see this and say it's just a bunch of, quote, weeds. But they don't see, I mean, everything's just getting started. It's still early. And then once stuff is grown in, it's all just lit up and just full of color. That liatris, I bet, is wild. How many species you got here? 2 or 3 or something, or what?
There's 3 species of liatris.
They
did a plot here. SGI did a plot here yesterday, 10 meters by 10 meters, and they got 76 species of plants.
Oh my God!
In that 10 square meters, or 10 by 10 plot. But there's some hoary puccoon right there that's still flowering. But this place something's blooming from beginning of spring until November. I mean, it's just there's always something blooming here. It changes every 2 weeks. You can come out here, and it's just something totally different's going on.
And this is what people could do to their yards too.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's endless.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the stuff out in front of my house you saw came from here.
Yeah.
I was growing a lot of plants from this place.
So this is what do you got? Like all this stuff in the seedling stage. Like what? Do you know what this is?
Yes, that's oh man, no, I don't. That's that may be some of the liatris, like a young liatris. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just some younger liatris, I believe. A younger version of this right here. So this is the rough blazing stuff.
What's this monocote?
That is false aloe. Manfreda.
Oh yeah, another agave relative. Yeah. Damn, that's wild. Just like the shown Illyrian. And then you said there's obedient plant here too.
Yeah, there's you'll see a lot of here's one right here, obedient plant, not flowering yet. It'll flower when the liatris flowers. Lots of little blue stem. There's big blue stem here. There's tall drop seed. A lot of cool native grass.
You guys get a lot of northern prairie stuff down here too.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, the prairie gets a lot of what we have in the southeast.
Mm-hmm. And you got the bastard oak too, of course.
Yeah, the big bastard oak right there.
A common name I approve of, certainly. I love it.
Yeah, Durand oak also. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the Cumberland rosinweed. Show us the range of that. You can see why it's got the name.
Yeah, you can see the Cumberland Plateau, that green right here. and it's like on the escarpments of the Cumberland Plateau down into Alabama and Tennessee. So it's a real.
That's a true endemic. Yeah, true endemic. And it always grows at kind of like the margin of the woodlands like this?
That's what I've noticed out here. It's like on the edges. I mean, you'll see some young ones out here, but the big ones seem to be right there in the tree line. But I think deer eat them too. So I think that
super waxy, man.
The ones in here aren't as pressured by deer as the ones out here are.
Opposite leaves, super waxy, slight poop. What is it? Silphium, what is it?
Bracteatum.
Bracteatum. I love that genus. God, what a great genus. Look at the roots. See that?
Bracteatum. You
can eat those. You're right. You probably make a little tea or something out of them. I don't know if I want to eat them. They're probably kind of flavorless.
You can make anything into a tea.
Yeah, you can make anything. You can make anything into a tea. What is this? This is that Vitus, the muscadine, right?
Yeah.
What's this? Is that another prunus?
That's a plum, I think.
Yeah, another prunus. This is a cool one. This is rare in Texas. We're here on the side of the road in Alabama. I saw a cool rock cut up there. Limestone quarry. Got toxicodendron, radicans all over the ground. And in the same family, the mango family, we got Cotinus obavatus, the smoke tree with those tiny flowers. This is rare in Texas. Only known from a few sites. Needs to be grown more. It might be a slightly different ecotype in Texas. Are those the stigmas? Those red things? I don't know what the shit that is. It's odd. I've never actually seen the flowers of the American smoke tree up close. You can see it gets kind of big. What a gorgeous tree. Holy shit. You see the Asian one planted. Oh, look at the petioles. Look at the kind of like pink color. The pink tinge to the petioles. See the Asian one planted because it's got the red leaves, but you rarely see the native one being planted. Boy, it's just an anacardiaceous holiday here. This looks like a roost, but a different roost than I've seen anywhere else. Like it looks like roost trilobata, but like it became a small tree. Jesus. Love to see the stuff in flower. There's just smoke trees everywhere. Little seedlings coming up, and look at those tiny flowers. Yeah, those little feathery shits are they gotta be the stigmas. Wild. What pollinates is it? Is it wind pollinated? Look at those road cuts. I guess this was, I don't know what they were doing here. This is a quarry or something. A lot of interesting stuff. Look, it looks like a puddle of puke on the ground. The nostoc. That's nice. I always like cyanobacteria. Check out this roots with the fruits. Oh yeah, this is a much different roost than I've seen anywhere else. If it's roost trilobata or aromatica or what. Look at the pubescence. Look at the fruits. Poison ivy family, mango family, cashew family. Damn, look at the hairs on it. Look at the pubescence on those. Not quite mature yet. Juniperus virginiana. Probably poison ivy everywhere in there. Yeah. You got Cercis canadensis. Not surprising. Check out this delphinium. Look at the colors on that. Holy hell. It's a larkspur, man. You get that little nectar spur in the back. Ooh, look at those green. What are those? Just nectar guides, I suppose. The whole thing hairy. Just the slightest pubescence. Linear leaves. I like that dripping sound. It's like that scene in Goonies when Mouse says, it sounds like his grandpa taking a leak. That's kind of what it sounds like. Someone's got a bad prostate issue. This is cool. So I pulled the sepals away. Well, the petals form this little hood actually that comes over, and then the sepals are behind that. But I pulled the petals away, and then you can see all the anthers. Ranunculaceae, the quote buttercup family, somewhat more basal lineage of eudicot. Look at those brown anthers. Cool, but that nectar spur is cool. It'd be cool to cut that open. I wonder what's in there. If there's like measurable amounts of nectar inside or what. What hits this? God, I love rock outcroppings. That looks nice. It's always going to be good stuff in places like this Pilea. One of the quote break ferns or cliff breaks, coffee fern. I don't know what the common name is. It's Pilea. That's what I know it is. And there's the story under there. Those clusters of sporangia. Pterodaceae, the Chilanthoideae, the Chilanthoid fern family, glaucous leaves. You know, look at all those spores under there. God, those pinnae are huge, though. That's cool. I love that whole subfamily. The xeric ferns. Here's a cool one from the buckthorn family, Burchemia scandens. It's a vine, but those leaves look so much like a frangula or a carwinschia. Also, in the buckthorn family, Rhamnaceae. Cool native vine, supplejack they call it. I don't know what that name's about, but shall roll with that, I guess. And those little flowers. Tiny little flowers. So here's a cool one, Camassia celoides. Wild Atlantic camas, which is related to agave. It's got a bulb in the ground, edible, 3-carpelled ovary, 3-carpelled fruit, purple flowers when it's going off. You could see this just got hit by a flood, I guess, but we're trying to get some, digging up some bulbs for transplanting and growing.
It'll probably still grow.
Yeah, that thing, look how much juice it's got stored up. You might just have to cut the leaves off, cut the distal end off.
It'll come up.
Transplant, it'll do fine.
Be fine.
I wonder if indigenous people were breeding these for larger bulbs or what.
Oh, they ground it up. They made powder out of it to like put in soup. So they would, I think they may have made breads, but I know for sure they would grind them up and make a powder as like a soup filler. Look, some of them get huge. And these, we actually picked a small one to dig up.
Do they form offsets too underground or what?
I don't know. I know they. I mean, I planted them at my house and they spread really well. But I don't know.
This should work.
Yeah.
Cool. God, there's a ton of them here. When do they bloom?
They just bloomed like last week. You'll see a bunch of them out at our glades too, but they're smaller.
Oh.
A lot smaller.
Those flowers went quick.
Hey, did you see this? What was this licorice root? What you doing?
Where's that?
Look at this blooming.
Oh,
The
shit.
roots are really strong. But
Oh, that's that osmoriza, huh?
Here, it's Morpheo longistylum. Oh, it's Morpheo longistylum. I'll turn it around and get you.
Another species in the wonderful genus Silphium, Moore's rosinweed, Silphium morii. Oh yeah, God, look how hairy that is.
Yeah, get this.
Do you get these in full sun ever, or are they growing? They normally like grow at the.
Oh yeah, I got them in full sun on the prairie.
They look like they're built for full sun, yeah. And they're what, blooming like September?
Yeah,
late
in the
August.
summer.
How tall they get?
Oh, they'll get this high.
Damn. God, I love this genus. Yeah, Jesus, man, look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's so hairy. Man, this species is just, it's so different. I just saw an orange flower yesterday. I guess you'll see some white ones, yellow ones, and then there's a red one. So there's a lot of different recessive alleles, or there's, who knows, maybe there's cryptic subspecies or something going, I don't know. Cirsium horridulum. But that is a hell of a thistle, man. That's a vivid ass flower, and you can see it's not getting too big either. Look at those little 5-petaled flowers in there. Pycnanthemum muticums over here. See, everything's just getting started. Got liquid ambar, which grows down into Chiapas, Mexico. A bunch of pacaras, rubus. But stuff's just getting started. Oh shit, is that? No, it's liquid ambar. I thought that looks like the Texas poison oak and poison ivy. Let's keep going. It's shortleaf pine. See, they're talking about transcendental meditation over. I don't know what's going on, but we got a thalictrum here. Okay, wind pollination in Ranunculaceae, the quote buttercup family. How do we know it's wind pollinated? Because the flowers aren't showy and the anthers are danglers. They're dangling out. Maybe they're not releasing. Normally when you hit it, you'll see clouds of pollen coming off. Maybe they're not releasing. Their anthers aren't hissing yet. But they're just on the cusp. But dangling anthers, big yellow anthers. Surely the pollen is a lighter pollen, not as heavy as insect pollinated pollen. Again, it's only wind pollinated plants that are going to cause allergies, not insect pollinated plants unless you're going around sniffing them, like doing lines of pollen. I mean, but there's thalictrum all over the place. Mountains of Mexico, out in California, mountains of Arizona. Right, pretty widespread genus with variations on a theme, different species in it, but the leaves all generally look like that, and the flowers all generally look like that. They're danglers, wind pollinated flowers. God, the smell here is incredible. We're on a glade, thin soil, limestone beneath, so you got the calcareous bedrock, and we got a federally endangered brassica here from the genus Leavenworthia. This is Leavenworthia crassa. It's in fruit. You can see it's like a little inflated bag, a little silicle is the term for it. Brassica fruit. Look at, is that the seed right there? Is that the seed right there? You can see that, yeah, like it's like a little disc inside the fruit. Just with a whole bunch of, you got sedum pulchellum, whole bunch of cool stuff. Carolina larkspur, Delphinium carolinianum with the nectar spur right there. Mononuria right here from Caryophyllaceae. Those flowers, God, it smells incredible out here too. Very thin soil. Okay, tell me about, what was this we were looking at over here?
Yeah, so this is Gattinger's prairie clover. Some of it's already starting to put out some flower heads, but this is a prairie clover. Unlike the leafy prairie clover that's federally endangered, the leafy prairie clover grows like 3 foot tall and it's upright. This one like lays out and lays over to the side, and it's adapted to being like able to be wallered over by bison. And so you see it at a lot of bison wallows and bison sites where they were present.
So these were all, yeah, these were all sites that were frequented by bison. I mean, there probably were thousands of these animals.
This is all prairie behind us, Molten Valley Prairie, and so these are just remnant plants from when the bison were here. And I'm sure the seeds would stick to their hair, and they'd carry them to other wallow sites. But that's why you can trample on these, and the plants are totally fine.
And they recover from it, yes.
Yeah, you don't break the stem.
So
when you step on
the
them.
bison basically selected for a plant that was tolerant of being trampled on.
Yeah.
This how dominant is this Leavenworthia here?
It covers the place. It's Leavenworthia crassa, but it's only found in 2 counties in Alabama, Morgan County and Lawrence County, and nowhere else. It's federally endangered. But it's an annual, so it puts out a ton of seeds, and you see those they're like little tiny flying saucers or something.
Oh yeah.
Pretty neat.
When are these blooming?
They're blooming about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they can have yellow flowers and white and yellow flowers. So they can either be solid yellow or white and yellow, and it's the same species. They just have 2 colors for that flower.
God, this spot's amazing, man. This is crazy. Damn sedums everywhere too, man. Little euphorbia. Man, its soil is right at the surface here. Look at that. God damn.
Oh shit, is this?
Dahlia everywhere. Oh, we got a couple Leavenworthias still going off. 4 yellow petals. Looks kind of like a Physaria. Same family.
Those little fleshy seed pods, that's where it gets its name, fleshy fruit, Glade cress. Because all these are identified by their fruit.
Yeah, there's who pollinates that delphinium with those big nectar spurs. Giant swallowtail. Lithospermum boraginaceae, marble seed. You can see why they call it that. You can see why the common name is marble seed. Those are the persistent seeds looking like little mini snail shells. That is wild, man. What is the dispersal strategy here? Create a shit ton of seed and just have them last forever in the seed bank? I wonder if they come up after fire or scarification or what. You can see hairy as hell, like so many members of Boraginaceae. Oh, that's a cool one. Modelea. Look at that. Milkweed family. You can see just a little tiny pentagonal milkweed flower in the middle of those maroon petals. It's the gynosthegium. Right on top of the poison ivy, but fuck it, who cares? Opposite leaves, and those cordate leaves too, kind of fuzzy, kind of pubescent on the underside. Fucking banger flower, man. That is cool. Doesn't smell good. Does not smell good in the slightest. Probably pollinated by tiny flies. Oh, another Silphium. God damn, I love this genus. They're not gonna be going on for another 4 months, but man, I love this fucking genus. Silphium pinnatifidum. It's another glade. That's the ecology of it. It likes to grow in glades. As you can see from the limestone right there, the thin soiled rocky areas. Looks like is that Terebinthinaceum too, or is that just another, is that
It's one of the 3 they call compass plant.
But I mean, those are 2 different species?
2 different species.
Okay, yeah. So you got Terebinthinaceum and pinnatifidum there. Don't get any Silphium out west, but
Here's some leafy prairie clover.
Packwood.
Up there.
And so this is the property you guys protected. That's it right
Yeah,
there.
That's a small one.
How many populations of this dahlia exist?
8 in Alabama. It grows in Tennessee, Alabama, and Illinois. And so this is we've protected 6 of the 8 populations in Alabama now. 2 years ago, none of them were protected. So this is the place. This is the one we bought. It has some huge plants. They'll get like waist high, and they bloom at the end of the summer. So.
You guys just raised money for this and just bought it.
Yeah.
Because no one else was protecting it.
Nope.
Oh, that's not terebinthinaceae. That's just the beginner leaves of Pinnatifidum. And then they mature, and see, they're all going to the same root down there. God, man, silphiums are cool. What a cool lineage.
This is Youngtown. The guy who settled Youngtown, they were talking about putting a road up through the Cumberland Plateau into Bankhead, and he said, "Why would you put a road up through a rocky, arid hillside when you could make a road through a green, verdant valley canopied in wildflowers?" And so I just thought it was interesting. He described it as canopied in wildflowers. But if you drive around the roads around here, you'll see a lot of this silphium, and they are head high. I mean, they're over the top of your head, which is like, maybe this is what he's talking about, canopied.
They can get 8 or 10 feet tall. Damn.
Yeah.
We got Minuardi everywhere, Caryophyllaceae. Not surprising to see, especially in the thin-soiled limestone.
All right, so 2 years ago when we bought this, it was just a road, little logging trail here. That was about the width of a truck that ran through this property. This was the only spot getting sunlight. Down here is all shaded out. So now we've got sunlight getting to close to half of this property now. And that's probably about the balance we want to keep it at. We're going to keep some closed canopy stuff, but we wanted to open up some of these areas where we thought we could have more leafy prairie clover habitat.
So did you guys burn, or is it just cutting trees or moving?
We've burned a little bit of this towards the front 2 years ago, but the rest we haven't touched yet. We've logged it. We had it logged, all the cedars off of it this past summer, and this is the first growing season with sunlight on the ground, and you can see all the green here. It wasn't like this last year. All this stuff greening up right here, it's just new growth that's been released because we got rid of some of the cedars.
You getting recruitment of more of the dahlias?
Yeah. Well, we just found one out of an area that I hadn't seen it this far over this way growing, so it seems like it's spreading as we open up the canopy.
That's excellent.
No way.
Lift up a piece of limestone, you find a big juicy scorpion. So, damn, that thing's fat as hell, man. That's wonderful.
It's like Play-Doh blue.
Yeah, we don't get them like that in Texas, man. Look at those little thin bark scorpions. Damn, that is nice. Look at that. Delphinium alabamensis. Unlike the Delphinium carolinianum, it's much different flower structure. Well, similar flower morphology, but different colors, different leaves. And this thing seems to love it on the glades. Definitely, probably I would assume Lepidopteran pollinator like all the rest. You got that nectar spur. Jesus Christ, that's a juicy flower though. And there's those leaves. Man, that thing's lit up. That's nice. Oh, look at that. Get up in there. Those indigo perianth parts are the sepals, and then those are the petals, those purple ones. All the hairs and shit in there. Assume it's just butterfly. What a weird flower structure though, man. What a weird pollination system. Big nectar spur. Yeah, look at all those too. So I guess they're going to put pollen on the thing's abdomen. On the underside, put it on its tummy. God, man, this would be a fun one to draw, you know. Nice texture to those flowers too. Cool, so you could see I clipped the petal off on that one. You could see those anthers up top are dehissing, and the ones down below are not. They still look like little yellow bananas. So I wonder if they move up to replenish the pollen supply, you know, to give the flower a longer life. If they move up incrementally over, you know, however, one per day or something, or what. And making it a thigmonastic flower. You know, so it'll be supplying pollen for a longer period of time. Either way, it's a fucking cool plant. And it seems to like these glades. A lot of good shit here. You know, you find these rocky microsites, man. What with almazet? Got like 2 or 3 different cool species of elm. Is that Alata? There's another one that's rare. Bunch of good shit here, man. Nice physalis, little ground cherry. You know, I'm a solanaceous bastard myself sometimes. There's the flowers. Look at those anthers. Juicy anthers. Before they dehisce, they look like little swollen bananas. Green and pink bananas. Nightshade family. Got a Hypericum right there. One of the 500 species of St. John's wort. Spigelia marilandica just opening. Well, not even open yet. And there's the dwarf larkspur. Only slightly varies. I cut one of the flowers open. Looks slightly different. And obviously it's not as tall and it's got different leaves. Kyle tells me this is timber rattler territory. I would love to see one. Beautiful snakes. Massive rattlesnakes. God, look at that habitat though. Rocky woods, man. Ooh. A lot of good stuff. You get a weird geology, you're gonna get unique plants. God, this habitat's just wild. You know, 350 million years ago it was at the bottom of the ocean. Just a thick collection of calcareous mud. Now it's an upland area in the southeastern United States. Like karstic limestone. Well, that's not karstic. It does react, does dissolve pretty readily, it seems. So humid woodlands with a bunch of limestone. And of course you got resurrection ferns too. Pleopeltis michoii. You can see there's the sporangia on the underside of those leaves. Just going up this whole tree right here. Man, this looks like this kind of habitat should be snake heaven, but alas, nothing. Just this cool palea, this cool cliff break. Palea atropurpurea. And see, there's the sporophyll. Remember, it's a fern, so not every leaf produces spores. You can see this clusters of sporangia under the revolute margin of those pinnae. God, I love that. The chylanthoids. And of course, you know, it's generally a more drought-tolerant fern subfamily of Pteridaceae, so of course it's growing in a thin-soiled rocky area. Man, that's an odd little structure. Little limestone. It's like a little limestone shack with all the Pleopeltis. All the resurrection fern on top. You can see they cleared a bunch of the junipers out, which they needed to. They cut them and then burned the rest of it, opening up the canopy, giving stuff a lot more light. Here we got a cool Erycema, which is an aroid. So the flower structure right here is a spathe and spadix. The spadix is in the center. The spathe is this little coffin-like sheath that encloses it. That's the flower spike in there. The flowers are tiny. Like all aroids, it's protogynous, so they're female first. The female flowers are on the bottom part of that spike, and then the male flowers are on the top. Let me see if I could open this up without the string. Yeah, you could kind of see the female flowers in it. Oh, yeah, there you go. Females on the bottom, and then the top should mature later on. And it'll be a bunch of little anthers. And then you got a root that it dies back to every year. Ah, it's nice. Look at them clouds. They're starting to spin. Oh, what's going to be happening in 10 minutes? Oh, that shit is nice. Yeah, because I come from a place where it doesn't rain that much. It's nice to hear. Hope I don't get struck by lightning, but you know, if it happens, whatever. This is a nice spot to be standing during a lightning storm. So that's what we're doing here. We're standing beneath some power lines. So anyway, a lot of good stuff here. Phacelia pershii, Miami mist. Don't know where it got that common name. Kind of goofy, but whatever. I'll take it. Look at the corollas. Look at the petals are laciniate. They're lacy. They're fringed petals on a Phacelia. Again, a western genus, primarily western genus that's inhabiting a drier site that's a glade, you know, where the soil's close to the surface, as you can see by the limestone right here. Then we got our sunny balls, Again, they call it sunny bells, but that sounds stupid, so I'm going to call it sunny balls, you know? Sounds like a good nickname for someone. Hey, it's sunny balls. Hey, sunny balls. Sheena Colon. Sheena Lyrian. Crosium. Again, a relative of agave with the little tuberous root it can die back to. Asparagaceae, agavoides subfamily. There's those 6 yellow tepaled flowers. Got Minuardia everywhere. Caryophyllaceae. Ooh, what's that? A penstemon? Is that digitalis? Oh, that ain't Penstemon digitalis. This is Penstemon tenuifloris. This is more rare than digitalis. You got hairs on that corolla and a very distinct corolla shape. That's a cool one, man. I haven't seen this one. Still opposite leaves. Kind of hairy, perfoliate. Hope I don't get struck by lightning, but you know, there's worse things can happen. Well, I guess not really. Maybe. God, that's cool. What pollinates this? They're kind of flat. Like a flat opening to that flower. Triadanus, right there. Campanulaceae is indicated by that 3-lobed stigma. And those perfoliate leaves. It's kind of a cool one. Tends to like it a little bit drier. Oh, this one's cool. One of the shooting stars, Dodecatheon, which I guess they moved into the genus Primula, but I'm not doing that because they've got a different, they're buzz pollinated, different pollination system, and a totally different flower structure. That's cool, a white one. I don't even know the western one. It's kind of juicy leaves, but family's Primulaceae. God, there's a lot of good stuff here, man. These glades. That's kind of cool. Look at how the flowers on this Dodecatheon are nodding at first and then later become erect. Ooh, once they're pollinated. You can still see the style is persisting on that capsule fruit, as are the sepals, as is the calyx. It's a superior ovary, but they all turn up. For better dispersal, they go from nodding to erect. God, that's wild. There's just holes in the limestone. Jesus. I tell you, man, limestone. Oh, look at that Phacelia. Miami Mist. Miami Vice. Is it smuggling cocaine or something? Why'd it get that name? Look at this. The whole Swiss cheese Karst. God damn it. A lot of cool caves around here, I bet. God, this is cool, man. This is cool. You might think it's a lupin, but it's not. It's the genus commonly known as breadroot. This is a Pediomelum. Fabaceae, subfamily Phoboideae. You can see it's finishing up. It's got lupin-like flowers, but it's got a big tuberous root down there. God, I love this genus. There's some really cool ones, especially out west. Oh, man, and look at those calyxes, too. Jesus. Pediomelum subacal. God, that's a cool one. Look at that. See, these are still in flower. Like we get an Opuntia, too. Right, grows in little islands in the humid east. These little islands, dry islands of aridity, where it can get by and outcompete all the stuff that is not stem succulent. Okay, so you can see this is obviously a power line easement, so that's why it's kept clear. But you got this woody encroachment. So what would have historically, because the thin soil is it's not enough. Like stuff would still move in because it's such a high rainfall area. What would keep this clear in the past?
Yeah, fire and bison and Native Americans. So what do you call that? Anthropogenic fire. So human started fires to maintain these. I mean, this was like a food source for them. So all this breadroot out west, the western tribes have a long history of breadroots. I think a lot of that was lost here in the southeast due to European settlement and pushing them out of here, and you know, I don't know. I assume they use it the same way as the western species, but it has a huge tuber. We've dug some up, and it's almost the size of a yam. I mean, they'll be huge.
Jesus.
You know.
So this was obviously a maintained area, probably, and this was a species that was being maintained.
Yeah, and it's still here because of the power lines. So the power lines are what saved this. Everything other than the power line was shaded out forest.
Because we got what, like 150 years of fire suppression, basically?
Yeah, 200. I mean,
yeah.
And so if you look at some of these big chinkapins on these mountains, they're 200 years old because and they're all the same age class because that's when they were able to be released. The fire left. Those chinkapins were able to grow.
How common is this cactus in Alabama?
That's pretty common on glades.
On glades,
people
yeah.
People are always amazed that we have 8 species of cactus in Alabama. Maybe more than that. But we have a lot of them on glady places.
Yeah, look at that thing, man. No one's growing this either. That's insane. Yeah, man. Hopefully it can inspire someone to come out here, collect seed, and just grow the hell out of this thing. What a cool plant. And edible too. So for all those people who are always asking, what does it do? What's it good for? There you go. It's edible. Look at those flowers. The wing petals are recurved and kind of convex almost. Hairy calyces. Hairy calyces. Yeah, it's dominating here on these glades. Yeah, look, it's everywhere. And that breadroot's everywhere. It's really happy here. Damn, it's almost like making a perfect little ground cover. We got sunny balls, the Shonalerian, of course. Oh, now it's starting to come down. Should have brought, some nice karst. Should have brought my little umbrella. Bloom once and then die. God, look at that. How long does it take? Oh, they're not open yet, but they will be soon. 4-petaled flowers. Incredible patterns on them. God, these are, man, is anybody growing these?
No.
Jesus.
Not that I know of.
Look at those whorls of leaves, too. Maroon stem, glabrous leaves. That's got to be a big-ass root, too. When are these blooming? Like another 2 weeks, probably?
Yeah, maybe next week. It's pretty close.
Damn. Yeah, those are spectacular flowers when they go off. I just know the western species. I've never seen this one. Yeah, we got seedlings everywhere. Yeah, there's one flower and they're holy shit. Look at that. Oh, this one's got 5 petals. Yeah, look at those hairy nectaries. 5 stamens, ovary in the center. Yeah, look at those hairs. Those are for the nectaries. I suppose to help it retain nectar for whatever pollinates. They're probably native large bees. Damn, but imagine that whole thing covered in, what, 80 flowers. A bunch of seedlings. And it'll take them 30 years to flower sometimes. Yeah, everywhere, man. Yeah, see, the other one over there has got 4. This has got 5. This is a weird 5-petal mutant frizz. Oh, actually, no, that one's got 4 too. But these top 2 flowers, or just that one, I guess. It's a mutant. The top one has 5 petals. Yeah, Frizera normally has 4 petals. Jesus Christ, that's close. Holy shit. All right. God, it's a nice stunner to end the day. Fucking balls, that's nice. Ah! That's kind of cool. So I'm collecting this to take an herbarium voucher, and you can see that's not even the main plant. It's got a root that ties into the main tuberous root, the breadroot, down below, and so it's probably got quite a few of those. They're all from the same phenotype, the same individual. Cool strategy. Just form a giant tuberous storage root. Man, that's a cool fern, the grape fern family. What, do you know the species on it?
No, it's a limestone adder's tongue.
Damn.
I don't know the scientific, but it's different from the one we saw earlier.
Oh, that's cool. The grape ferns. Yeah, there's this little sporophyll coming up. That's nuts. So all this was the only reason that this is preserved in here is because instead of fire, they were clearing it for the power lines.
Yeah, the power lines. But if you look at the 40s, all of this was open.
Uh-huh.
Now the only thing that's open is the power line because everything else was allowed to grow back up in cedars.
But there's probably a seed bank still. So like if you were to cut that and burn that, get rid of the cedars, then all this stuff will come back.
And that's what we're going to be watching come to life the next 2 or 3 years. This is the first growing season that's had sunlight on it since the 40s. So 80 years.
And you haven't seen stuff like this anywhere else?
No.
Damn.
Oh, look at this bird's foot violet, I think. Yeah, I think that's bird's foot violet.
God, the diversity's insane, man. These glade areas are so wild. They're just giant boulders of karstic limestone.
Price's wood sorrel is rare too. That's another common one.
And that dahlia's here too. It's just a late season one.
Yeah, it's like an inch tall right now.
Look at that, middle of a glade. And there's Ophioglossum. That's a weird lineage of plants right there. Adder's tongue ferns, the grape ferns. More, I think some of these have 1,000 copies of the chromosomes. So highly polyploid. Really cool lineage of fern. Mycorrhizal. The gametophyte, you know, the haplogametophyte is an obligate mycorrhizal plant that can't produce any of its own chlorophyll. It's not photosynthetic, doesn't produce any of its own food. Completely mycoheterotrophic, reliant on a fungus for food. And those little things coming up, those are the sporophylls. That's what produces the spores. Just right in the middle of a glade too. It's wild. It is really coming down. There's a lot of good shit to see though.